Hello, I'm Brian Hengesbaugh, partner at Baker and McKenzie in Chicago, and we've been getting a lot of questions recently about the European General Data Protection Regulation, and in particular from HR folks, HR departments, legal responsible for HR, et cetera, saying, what does GDPR really mean for HR data? I think there's a general perception that the GDPR rules themselves were really drafted for consumers, online companies, et cetera. There's right to be forgotten and things like that. That must be, search engine issues, not really us. And of course, we know that by application, GDPR is going to definitely apply to HR data. It's going to be, very significant. And people have been saying, so we've read all this stuff, but, boil it down for me. What do I really care about in the HR space? And so we really have 5 key points that we want to make, and we're going to give you some little video snippets, kind of considered a little wine tasting type thing, little sips of each of these 5, key areas you should be working on even now. We're early in 2017 as we get ready for a May 2018 implementation deadline. So one of our first points, though, is just to think about scope. So we know that the GDPR is written very broadly to apply to any personal data. So anytime we've got something as simple as name and email address of a job applicant or an employee, or even some computer information about them, their username or their password or information about their access to company systems, we're often very quickly into the type of regulated data that's going to be subject to GDPR. And there, you can think about it in 2 main ways it will hit the enterprise. One is when you're doing HR operations, so whether you're doing compensation, performance management, benefits, all these kinds of things. Your regular HR operations are oftentimes going to be directly subject to GDPR. The other way it hits the organization is on the compliance side. So if we're doing monitoring or investigations or implementation of data loss prevention tools or other types of things, you're also going to be subject to GDPR. Now, oftentimes, there's different parts of the organization that are responsible for those types of activities, so it's important to be thinking about both sets as you go. So to give you a little preview, the big picture areas, number 1 is we're going to talk about transparency and consent, so notice and consent and legitimacy issues. Number 2, we're going to be talking about IT performance standards that really arise, that really are going to require you to be closely engaged with the IT department and the folks who actually run the systems. Governance and accountability is area 3. Area 4, data security and breach notification. And area 5 is cross-border transfer. So those are the 5 big picture issues we're going to be touching in little segments here. And stay tuned. Thanks.